Up.
Okay, sick. Welcome to Politics NY with Sky. Schneps Media is asking each candidate running for New York City office this year 3 questions in 3 minutes to get to know them in a fun, candid way. And right now, I am with Queens Borough President Donovan Richards. He won in a special election, and now he has a primary election to maintain his spot as our Queens Borough President. So welcome, Donovan.
Thank you, Sky. Great to see you.
Yes, it's great to see you. And tell us how it's going for you in Queens.
Woo, it's been busy, but I am so optimistic about the future of Queens County. I'm so proud of all of the work that we're accomplishing just in a little bit over 100. I think we're going on our 150th day in office. But we hit the ground running. You know, we modernized our community board application process, which resulted in a 56% increase in people applying to their local community boards, which play such integral roles in shaping communities. So this year, for the first time, you were actually able to fill out your application online, something so basic, but it led to, like I said, that 56% increase. We focused a lot on diversity. There was a lot of underrepresentation of women on community boards, in some community boards, people of color, and I'm very happy about the increases we've seen in both of those areas, substantial increases. And then we hit the ground running because we know a lot of our small businesses were hurting. Very happy to hit a home run with the owner of the New York Mets, Steve Cohen. We launched something called the Queens Small Business Grant, in which now I think over 700 businesses in Queens got up to grants up to $20,000. Which really was a lifeline for a lot of these businesses who were not able to get access to the federal PPP loans and grants program. So keeping our businesses alive was important. And then the last thing is vaccine equity. And I'm happy to say that Queens is leading the state in vaccinations right now. We hit our millionth mark about 2 Fridays ago. And we lead the entire state, and that was based on the work of the office and us pushing the governor and the mayor and the federal government and working with all of the different elected officials and stakeholders around the borough to get Queens back roaring louder than ever. So we're building back Queens better, and we're not looking to go back to normal, but we're looking for a new normal in Queens County.
Awesome. Now, Donovan, I would love for you to tell us your little story of how you got involved in politics in the first place.
Oh, very unfortunate incident led me here when I was about 18 years old. It was very unfortunate, passing the murder of a childhood friend. So gun violence, when people talk about it, while there's a lot of rhetoric that is displayed when you talk about this issue, it hits closer to home for me. I committed my life to public service after the murder of my childhood friend, Darnell Patterson. We both grew up in the same neighborhood in Southeast Queens. We're very close, parted ways for a little bit, but going to his funeral service changed my life forever. And I ended up meeting my local council member at a gun violence meeting back in 2003, James Sanders at the time. I ended up working my way up with him for 10 years, the equivalent of a man with a broom and a dustpan. I had no idea how speed bumps got on your block, how garbage got picked up, you know, all of the quality of life issues that impact our communities is something that really was a great learning lesson coming in as a teenager, and then working my way up to chief of staff, and then running for the city council in March of 2013, and winning the same way. I won a special election, had to run in a primary, then had a general election. So I got a little experience here, but I think of my friend all the time. I was sworn in the city council on the anniversary of his death. So I would say I didn't come here for politics. I came here with a purpose.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. And I see you're wearing your health and hospital sweatshirt, and I've been moderating these debates, and we do some Queens districts, and people are upset about the healthcare in the community. And I'm sure that that's one of your priorities moving forward in your borough presidency.
Yeah, well, we talked a lot about what we wanted to see and where we wanted our borough to go in my first State of the Borough in January. And healthcare was at the top of the ticket. You know, when you think about COVID-19, how it impacted Queens, how Queens was the epicenter of the epicenter, there was a reason for that. And a lot of that had to do with the lack of access, the closure of nearly 5 or 6 hospitals here in the county. So moving forward, you know, we've been working with our congressional delegation. And I want to thank them because we've been partnering. I was very happy to see them deliver a large stimulus package for New York State and New York City, which enables us to close the budget gaps. But now to refocus and, like I said, reimagine where do we go from here. So next week, I'll be announcing about a close to $11 million investment into our local hospitals. Many of the hospitals that were really on the front lines of this pandemic. We are so grateful to the essential workers who put their lives on the line first. And I'm not here to just clap for our healthcare workers. We need to make sure that they have the state-of-the-art facilities and that investments are going into our hospitals and healthcare system. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm proud of Elmhurst Hospital. They were Elmhurst strong, and also so many of our hospitals, Jamaica, Queens, New York Presbyterian, Flushing, St. John's and the Rockaways, and I'm looking forward to announcing those investments shortly.
Awesome. Thank you. Now, really quick, tell us something fun or interesting about yourself that maybe people don't know.
Well, I'm an avid basketball player. I'm an avid reader, and I'm an athlete. So I'm not able to test my basketball skills out as much as I used to. But a few weeks ago, I got to shoot a commercial out in Cambria Park in Southeast Queens, up the block from my house. And it was fun being out there with my 5-year-old son, like shooting this commercial, but being able to just play basketball. They were like, we want to get you on video. And I have not had the time to really break out and do that. But those are the two things I love to do the most. Love reading and love sports.
Yeah, it's ways that politicians can become personable and human. And I think any way to exhibit that helps engage voters.
Yeah, a lot of times people, they view us as, it's interesting because you could be in a supermarket and people are like, you're not in your suit. And I'm like, I am human. Or they're like, where's your security? Why don't you have security with you in the supermarket? And I'm like, wait, they're like, you're driving yourself today? Although I do have a driver, that is a big difference. But the point is like, I'm human too. Like I like to go out and eat and have fun like everybody else when I have the time.
Right. So thank you, Queens Borough President Donovan Richards, for being part of Schneps Media's 3 Questions in 3 Minutes. And I'm Sky with Politics NY.